Welcome back to our Smithsonian Park build. We're doing the elephants. We're doing the elephant exhibit, and the elephant is going to be the newly released Amargasaurus. I wanted a small sauropod, and now we have one. Perfect. It's here on medium dig sites 1, alongside Corythosaurus and Maiasaura. This is the base game dinosaur research tree, which we already have unlocked. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it. This is a 6 to dig up. We'll start that. We are no longer playing with some of the other research mods because the game updated. I put in some of them without changes that didn't need changes. I didn't put in the changes to dig sites because I haven't added Amarga yet, right? But then I also removed the ones that were blocking our progression on males that we were switching sandbox settings all the time just to get access to. Same with enclosures, so now that we can do the nests without having to toggle on and off that either. So we'll grab that as well. And then, yeah, nothing left here. We can also grab hatchery bays if we put a point into somebody. How about you? So we get the advanced hatchery equipment. It'll be relevant especially for the Amargas because there are 7 elephants at least currently in the zoo, including 1 baby. So we get 1 male, 1 baby, and a bunch of females. And so we'll actually get to see the full spread of the Amargas. Also, this is the start of what I'm working on here for the elephant exhibit. This is a barn coming off of the workshop that you can, have dinosaurs theoretically enter. That better be true, because it's going to be rude if that's not doable. And I'm going to use it as the basis for building my own structure here, putting in a viewing gallery in the front so that you can see the interior area where the elephants are, which is a thing you can see in the zoo. Here, let me show real quickly maybe on the video what the actual thing looks like. Boom. Here you go. So yeah, this is the Google Street View of the elephant exhibit. So this is what we're building. This interior area here with this fence where the elephants hang out, right? And then there's doors out back opening out to the proper area. So this is what I'm trying to do. And then this area here with the people, this is just going to be a viewing gallery. So I'm not doing any of this. I'm just doing the little walkway for the zookeepers and then the elephant area in the back. It's the idea. Knocking out core upgrades real quick here. Can throw some other stuff up in our buildings that way. Still waiting on that expedition to come back. We're going to try out this bridge from the workshop, which is apparently functional. Something about connecting the path to it. I'm just going to have to experiment and figure out how it works rather than actually watch the video. But if I can't figure it out, I have to look online. I want my fossils. Dang it. I'm sorry, scientists, you can't have them. They're for me only. Alright, there's our first Amarga. 1 amber that takes up the entire slot, which seems crazy. Sorry. What is this? We've never had anything near a 10 slaughter. What is this? This is crazy. This is going to take 5 extraction batches. Why did they do this? I'm actually... This feels like a mistake. 10 fucking pips worth of capacity for an amber. Alright. Now, we are still playing with penalizing income tax, so improved cost reduction stuff is probably going to be pretty important. Ratings will still be really easy to get, but the economy will still be very picky. So, and I guess given that we have that insane Amarga requirement, we probably want to put in extraction capacity here, actually, so I guess we'll get started on that as well. Maybe with you two. I also forgot to send the expedition back out. Yeah, there's still more Amarga fossils. That is ridiculous. The fact that they're 6s and 5s too, so you like can't combine them. You need a 6 and a 4 in early game. Like, way to make the animal essentially unusable in an actual, like, you know, proper challenge mode type run. Like, if you were actually stressed for time, you could not do that animal ever. I mean, not ever, but like, you could not do that animal as an early animal, like, ever. You would always, it would just never be worth it. So I guess we'll do, I did cost. I should have probably did yield. I kind of just click shit without thinking about it, to be honest. Administration makes a lot of sense. I like efficiency too, but whatever. Should be paused here because stuff is done. Training, sure. Well, might as well slap in a storm defense. So I guess we do the 2 5s. It's better than... Maybe there are a couple 4s and we just rolled poorly on what we got. Could be the case. Alright, there's no reason for me to go over here yet, so we can't tell if the bridge does anything. But this is the current state of our elephant exhibit. This is like a wading pool. This is something with water. Maybe it's another pool, I don't know. So it'll at least work to get them to move across the exhibit and get like a wider range of visibility, which is good. The exhibit overall with the viewing gallery inside the barn should be pretty okay. Yeah. Yeah, even ignoring this one up here, it's pretty well covered. Even with the awkward shape. And then, yeah, we put in the Asia Trail back in this way, this area, like here. So this bridge actually would be pretty close to the pandas, which would be in here. Which is probably what we put in after the Amargas, once we get them sorted out. Alright. These Amarga fossils really don't want to come in without hiccups. I'll pay an extra 100k. Wow, yeah, it's just one more 5 we had to go back for. At least with the upgraded extraction capacity, that's actually perfect, but that's still 3 batches. Kind of wild. Well, here it is, Amarga, our first look at this thing. Yeah, the synthesis requirement is less than the money we spent extracting the damn things. Might as well pump all that up. Alright. Female. Might as well take a moment to look through these. That's about what I expected. That's an Amargasaurus, alright. Nothing too exceptional going on there. And the male? So the male's got a little bit more going on here in the patterning. That's something, you know? I don't hate it. I like it. This 2-color thing here going on. You got this body color, but then a different one on the neck. Seems alright. Not the greatest color palette, though. Like, these body colors, let's make this maybe a lighter color. Like, these body colors are pretty subtle. But it's still, it's decent. Oh, the color, the spikes change color a little bit. It's alright. You do a little bit of Darth Maul, little bloody spikes. Yeah, we're doing a boring gray skin. I mean, we're probably, honestly, they're going to be blank. But we at least wanted to take a look, you know? Jeez, you gotta ruin our fun right away? So probably Quillian is the most elephant colored, I would say. That to me is like elephant gray, I would say. The other ones are too dark. Yeah, a smaller sauropod was definitely missing at launch. Very glaring gap in the roster. Made a lot of sense that they plugged this gap sooner rather than later. So, yeah, so I guess we'll just do that. And we need 6 of these in a batch of 2. So, 10 with those maxed out genetics is pretty rough too. Zoo elephants tend to be a brown or gray because they'll mud bass. Yeah, we could throw in a little bit of... Maybe we throw in a little bit of brown just to mix up the colors too, actually. It's not a bad idea. Just for vibes. Problem is... I don't feel like any of these is like a grayish brown. Like these are like very light browns. Maybe this one's okay. Death Valley, maybe. We could maybe throw that in there. That's about all we could do for like a muddier one, I would say. It's not bad. Then at least there's a little bit of variance in color. Yeah, that's about all we can do. Okay. Sorry. Yes, save and exit. Wait, did it actually change? Now I'm just like questioning it, because why did it even ask me to do anything? Alright, so I think we're going to do straight away just like the male and the female. Tolerant, both defensive. Let's just make you the male. Female, male. Get that going. And then we can continue to make them in the second slot. So we have all of them out. So this will be with the mixed batch of colors on the second one. 1 minute. Alright, not too long. Okay, we got one brown one coming. So one of the brown ones to mix up the colors a little bit. Rolling in the mud. I guess I'll just do this and push that person over the limit. Because I want my elephants. Alright, the first Amargas in JWE3 for the channel. Yep, that's about what I expected. We're not really giving them a good first showing by making them just flat gray, but is what it is.
Sure, the Amargasaurus isn't the biggest sauropod around or the best known, but you gotta love an underdog, right? Especially an underdog with such impressive spikes.
Alright, wetland options. Marsh or bog or cypress swamp or swamp. Maybe a little bog around here. Maybe, bog does the weird thing where it lowers the terrain level, which gets a little strange sometimes. But marsh looks like dog shit, so I mean, you lose on both fronts, right? I mean, that still just looks the same way. It's still just a big mucka, and big pile of muck, a big bunch of nothing. And that goes low too. I hate that the terrain level alters itself. Well, we'll try that, I guess. What we doing? We're doing an Amarga exhibit based on the Smithsonian's elephants exhibits. That's what we're doing. And we're hoping we can make this bridge work. Gotta figure out how this works. And yeah, we have to see the babies here too. So the Amargas are large nest, surprisingly so. That nest is bigger than they are, sure. I'm just going to slap this in here, I think, without much consideration for where it goes. We want just one baby for the baby elephant that is currently in the real zoo. So there we go. And what else do these guys need? They need ground fiber and cover. So let's do some woodland. So there's like a strip of trees kind of here, kind of like breaking up this area. So there's like one side exhibit for the elephants, and then a do we have a YouTube chat too? Yes, we have a YouTube chat as well. We're streaming on both Twitch and YouTube. I don't need that much food, so just a little bit there I think is fine. And the territory does reach inside the building, so that's great. I would like to see them go in there. What kind of wetland forest do we have on the map? We have the cypress trees and then the standard swamp brush. So Those are the options. They're happy. They're good to go. Let's get the second batch, or the third batch, rather, synthing, I guess. Just kidding. We can't do it yet, because everybody's on the other job. Alright. 2 more female. Funny habit of showing their front teeth through their lips, so it looks like they're smiling. Now that is interesting. We'll have to try to see that.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome an Amargasaurus to the park.
Alright, so our first 4 elephants. Now the male elephant in the zoo is Spike. A name that I approve of. Given that it's coincidentally the name of the iguanodon in my game demo. Which is maybe not the most crazy coincidence, but it is interesting. I'm just going to go through the... wait a second. Lin. Maybe we should find out who the actual parents of the baby elephant are. Or we could actually engineer this. So Lin Mai is the baby elephant. Made her debut April 22nd, I guess like last year or something. Skimming the article. Her mother is Lin. Is her father the only male in the zoo, one would assume? Yeah, Spike and Lin. So, or however you say that. So this will be the mother. Lin or whatever. Then let's do a breeding program. Maybe I should check for compatibility, but it's... Oh, I bet you I still have this turned on to be guaranteed, which is honestly fine because we're only doing babies where there is like specifically a baby, right? They're Asian elephants. Alright, so that's the parents. So Trong Ni is another one of the females. I'm probably butchering these pronunciations, but what are you gonna do? I was born in Wisconsin. I can't say these names. Then we got Bozy. And we have a disgruntled staff member, so let's get them on a break. What other dinosaurs have we got in the park? Well, we've got, let me show what we got. We got over here in the Africa Trail exhibit, we've got the zebra, right? Zebras. We've got ostriches. I had to think about what the animal was initially. Where are the pigs? We got the Red River hogs. And then we have, what else do we have in this exhibit? Oh, we have the various types of, like, gazelle. So, yeah, we're just using Drosaurus to stand in for a bunch of different gazelle and gazelle-like animals. So, and yeah, we got a nice waterfall. I'm pretty happy with how this exhibit came out. I think it's solid. Even though this guy is just sitting here. What are you doing? Okay. Alright. Breeding program is going in 40 seconds. Can we get the last actual set of adults? No. Alright, we'll wait. We'll let the other people come back. Well, I didn't exactly catch this on video properly, but the eggs were laid at a distance? Like an exceptionally long range? This is the mother? And she just laid the eggs all the way from downtown, so I think we got a future basketball star there. 2 eggs, so we're going to see what the 2 babies come out as. We're going to pick one to keep. I'm not going to worry about the gender of the baby matching the gender of the actual elephant we're basing this on. We'll just take whichever one has the correct color and, like, traits, I guess, maybe. And now that that is done, presumably we can push the go button here. Yep, everybody go. Alright, then our last 2 females are nothing remarkable. Better genes than the last two, but yeah, another brown, another gray. Yeah, we do staff upgrades, and then we can do some more animal research. It's happening. Oh no, the camera angle's awful! Okay, there we go. Okay, they're both identical, so we can keep whichever one we want. They have very little reason to go inside. That is very true. That's why I wanted the water in there, but we couldn't get it.
We are pleased to welcome an Amargasaurus to the park.
I suppose I do need a way to bait them inside more. That's a fair point. Alright, let's look at this little fella. Yeah, he's pretty cute. He's a pretty cute little baby. I think this is much more in line with the adult than the Cryolophosaurus was. I think the Cryo... I'm still saying it. I think the Cryo really showed that it was reusing a theropod rig that didn't quite fit the adult Cryolophosaurus proportions, but this one looks more custom-made and tailored to the animal. Even if it's like an edited, you know, Patasaur rig or something, it's still pretty good. Yeah, I think if we want them to go into the barn, we might want to try putting their food in there. So let's take a look. First things first. Nest is done. If we go ahead and clear out the food we put here, maybe what we do is we do... Let's see how much we need here, actually. Like maybe we can sneak it in the corners, kind of. Like in here. But then it still keeps kind of that like open like vibe with the pool and stuff, but it gives them a reason to like come in here. Maybe we even go like further down like this. Oh, that one kind of went... Can I undo this? I can. That one kind of went up on the concrete, which I don't really want it to do. Probably don't have any other options for giving the adults. Okay, yeah, if it's a unique rig, that's great. It should be a unique rig, so... That would explain why it doesn't bother me. Why it actually looks good to me. Unlike some of the other juveniles that I've complained about to certain people's chagrin. Okay. Great. So then we put maybe a little bit more by like the barn doors. That'll also encourage them to like kind of wander around over here. And then we can keep the back of the exhibit kind of also still kind of more sparse. Yeah, we'll do it like that maybe. All right, so 2 females. Well, I guess the only deciding factor then is the genes. Humble, tolerant, social. Humble, social. Amargasaurus number 5, you lost the role, kid. I'm sorry, but you gotta go. Alright, this one gets the title of Lin Mai. That's the baby that we keep. Oh god! I wasn't paying attention. Hey Ellie, welcome to the stream. We have a disease outbreak, a slight crisis on our hands. Okay. Well, it'll be fine. There's not that many animals, just can't go that crazy. What is my favorite baby design? I actually don't know. I'd have to think about it. I'd have to actually sit down and like look at them all again to like decide which one I think is the best. Not a zoo if there isn't a pandemic going on. Fair. Shoot faster. Much shoot faster. Alright, I just want to get this queued up on these guys. And then we can go, okay, no power. Yes, that is going to be you. Alright, resupply, fill that crap up. We need to get real power put in. We did the research finally, but I just haven't gotten around to actually doing it. Alright, rewilding, Amarga 5. Is the bridge doing anything? No, people are walking underneath it. Okay, so that is not how the bridge works. My next question would be, do we have to do this? Maybe we do like the terrain just underneath the bridge is the trick? I wasn't sure how this worked, so I just, you know, kind of threw it in. And we're just gonna play with it. We're just gonna see. So I think we just do this. Maybe we do... Actually, maybe this works better because it'll try to catch up quicker. Okay, it is kind of gross. Well, there's probably an optimal way to do this to simulate the bridge working. Maybe I'll have to play with it a little bit because I don't like what it's doing here to the exhibit itself. Let's get these guys out. Building a park with only flying and marine animals, that can be a little rough right now, especially with a limited roster of those kind of animals. What should you call me? You can call me Jesse or Avanavis or At the Edge of Chaos, which is the YouTube channel name. It is up to you. You can say, hey, you. You can call me a guy. Hey, person. All right. Looks like we're getting on top of this. I don't like the death warnings, the injuries, whatever you want to call them. Low health, that's the thing. But I think we're on top of it enough we don't need to triage. Okay, and there's the upgraded, the modded unlock requirement for the tuberculosis vaccine triggering, so we're going to do that. It also seems prudent right now. Yeah. Alright, so let's do Asian stegosaurids. You can abbreviate it to whatever you feel like, just as fine. The Lystro is a good baby. That's fair. Baby Paddle or Baby Stego. Yeah, the Stego had a good vibe, I remember that. I would have to see that. How certain are we that I'm not a dinosaur in a suit? I've sent secret agents to your place to kill you for revealing forbidden knowledge. So, yeah. It's not in the park yet. We're going to see this channel's mascot, the Stone Troodon. I don't know if Troodon's going in this park. It's on the maybe list. We'll see. So, pandas, Asian stegosaurs. That's what we're looking for. 6. They moved. 2, 1. Go. Alright, first Chungking expedition. Nope, just kidding. Everybody's mad at me. BRB. Oh. Our last 2 female adult elephants are Swarna and Maharani. And that is the full elephant herd. This territory is still good for them. Even though they don't have comfort data on most, we have plenty of water, actually an overabundance of wetland. So I would prefer, aesthetically, to push this back, actually. So let's trim down the wetland a bit. That's still, like, a crazy amount of wetland somehow. How is that, like, I guess the water... Like, the lily pads and, like, the reeds and stuff must also count as wetland when you add them. It's all I can figure, because I've essentially removed all the wetland outside of the waterway. A little surprising. I'm going to do a little more trees going in here. Like that. And then it should probably be, like, trees out here, too, or something. But we'll, like, decorate the rest of this up as we, like... actually get it built. Alright, then I gotta figure out this bridge thing. Good enough, I think. Good enough. You can see the seam, so to speak, with the environment nearby, but... yeah, I can watch the video that comes with this decoration on the workshop and see if there's a better way to handle the terrain, but... I think this is probably how it's meant to be. You just push the terrain tight to the path on either side underneath the bridge, and the trees create the illusion, essentially, that it's a proper bridge. Alright, I would really like you guys to go inside the viewing gallery building so I could see you inside. That would be really cool. And I don't know if you're ever going to do it. Who's sick and why? What's wrong with you? Get in there. Alright, let's do this expedition. And I should probably figure out what I want to do permanently with power, but, I mean, I don't know what I want to do permanently with power, so I'm not going to do it yet. Could always chuck it, like, across the road or something over here, maybe, by the entrance. Not sure. And then, yeah, the panda exhibit, that's going to be a whole thing I have to figure out, too. Because this bridge is, like, nearby. And, like, the elevation is going to be weird to get all that to work. So I might need to fiddle with that. That's a happy Amargasaurus right there, for sure. Please. Please go inside the barn. You're so close. Just go right through the door. Ah. Come on. I took away all their food. They have to go inside sometime. Surely it'll happen. Believe. Is it happening? He's inside the barn. Glorious success. Okay. Oh, they're all coming in now. Huge! Okay, the elephant shed works.
During most of your tour,
That's very
the
cool.
appropriate information
Hell yeah.
will be automatically selected and displayed for you. Simply touch the area of the screen displaying the appropriate icon.
Now, if only they could actually use enrichment items, then we'd really be cooking.
Standing in the shadows of its relatives, dwarfed by towering.
Okay, well, that was a success. I'll have to fix their food. Maybe I just put more inside. It kind of ruins the vibe of it being this pretty, like, sandy area. But I think it's more important that we have them going inside the building at times. Sure wish I could see what's happening here on the animals. There we go. Alright. Well, wouldn't be a JWE park build without some fence problems. Pretty bad storm rolling in here. So, yeah, hopefully this gets fixed. Excuse me, maintenance. Fossils held up in customs again. Incredible. Excuse me, maintenance. Well, shrimp. And that is Chung done. Backup generator has malfunctioned. You mean broke? Because it did break. It is actually out of range of maintenance as well. Yeah, I guess I better put in maintenance posts. I was neglecting my maintenance because this was all a little experimental here, but can't continue to neglect it any longer. I gotta take care of it. Alright, I'm just gonna slap these in here. We'll move these away later when we finalize some of the other builds in the area. So, maintenance team 1, you can grab this. You can grab this. Maintenance team 2, you can grab this guy. Alright, is anybody going to repair this fence at any point? At any point. At any point. You literally just drove right past that. That's because it's the other guy, probably, but, like, I would still really like this to get repaired. Please, somebody.
Attention personnel. We have
Anybody.
power outages across the site. Available personnel, please respond.
Alright. Should be good. Alright. You know what? Let's not worry about other animals quite yet. Lose more money. Pay to repair the 0-star hotel. Interesting. Poorly maintained hotel. Okay. I've literally never seen that event before, so that was cool, I guess. Alright. Our pandas. This one should have one that works well. Maybe. I guess Yukon? Maybe I'm thinking of one of the other guys. Maybe I have to look at the other Stegosaurids. Maybe this is not the guy. I mean, that's not bad for a panda, but like one of the other ones might be better. Like it needs more white, you know? Unless we use like something like that. But then yeah, none of this is terribly white. If only there was a species viewer. If only. Yeah, I'm gonna have to back out at some point and like load up a sandbox and check. I mean, I guess we could just do it in this one after I like end for the night. Like we can turn off research and check if that would actually be the best one to use. It's not bad. I just thought it was better. I think I need to get the pandas and like the Asian trail finished before we move on to other sections of the park. Because like, if I skip ahead too far to other outlying sections, then I might not have enough space to develop this stuff up. So that's my concern.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, okay, there was a white and dark gray chung in JWE1. Maybe I'm literally remembering JWE1 still. Maybe I'm thinking very far back. So, okay, let's talk activity center. Let's talk attractions, right? You have this activity center, signage. Clearly it's meant to be a movie theater, right? And the only way you know that when you are actually putting in an attraction in this game, right? You go here, you have these guys. Provides 100 appeal, and they have the little pips, but they have no labels, nothing, none. So you got to look at them, right? You got to do this. You got to squint. You got to rotate. You go, oh, that's the theater, right? You put it down, and you're like, okay, cool. Now I have the theater, and you click on it, and it's just called Activity Center 5. Well, we can call it a theater with the ER instead of the RE because we're in America. And then you're like, well, how do I know this is a theater though? Actually, and you think, oh, let's edit the attraction and check the upgrade. Nope, it's a fossil zone. So the cinema, in terms of the aesthetics that they put in the game by default, does not actually come with the cinema upgrade. It comes with the fossil zone upgrade. So my next question is, if we do this and we pick the one that we think is the fossil zone, will it be the cinema? So that's a rock climbing. Clearly this is rock climbing. We're going to check that one. This one. Sorry, this one. See, that might be Fossil Zone. That's definitely VR. Oh, no, that's Fossil Zone. It literally says Fossil Zone. Nope, it's a VR. They couldn't even get that right? The Fossil Zone is actually the VR. And the rock climbing is actually rock climbing. This one's correct. So the Fossil Zone is VR. The cinema is the Fossil Zone. So the VR must be the cinema, right? Yeah, it's a minor error. It's just an error in labeling, but it's like, it's funny, right? At least it's funny to me. Because they don't have descriptions. So like I have to go visually by what they look like. And then it's not even right. Nope, that's a lab tour. All right, never mind. The VR is lab tour, and lab tour is something else. Maybe rock climbing is the only one that's correct. That's certainly something, huh? All right, well, I think we're gonna end here for today because it's gonna take too much effort to get the pandas put in right now. That's like a dedicated stream, pretty much. So we're gonna do that next time. We're gonna leave this little corner here set up, this extra parking lot and stuff that should be there. And once we get the pandas in, we can start really like fleshing out the rest of the infrastructure around the Asian Trail, and then going further into the zoo in this direction. And then, yeah, we go from there. This all might have to be moved down, which will be a very complicated thing. Hopefully we don't have to do that. So let's make a save, and then let's take a look at our other options for pandas real quick here at the end of this video. So we do gameplay, we do research off. We do fossils off. And now we can go in here and look. So, the only other Asian stegosaur currently in the game is Gigantspinosaurus. See, that's not very panda either. Yeah, that ain't really doing it. That's not... That's worse. I think Chung is better than this. Plus, I hate this because of this broken spine here on the animation. My least favorite animal in the game, I think, currently is this guy. Let's look at Kentro, I guess. Like, maybe we can use Asian Stegosaur very, very loosely. See, I think that needs just a little bit more black. But it is probably better than the Chung. Yeah, the Gigantspinosaurus thing is my gift to the JWE audience that I feel obligated to point out the animation error on it every time I see it. I think I like this better. So I think Kentro's currently the winner so far. What about the variant? He's a little big, but I mean, that's not bad. That could work too. I don't know the last time we actually used a Pierce. What about Tsingtao? So maybe. Actually, let's look at the male real quick. So the male gets a little bit more color on like the thigh. It also gets these little tips that don't really look very panda. So the female, I think, plus it's probably, I don't know if there's, yeah, pandas aren't small. Keeping it in scale with things like the zebra is not even bad. Like the Kentro variant would be much more in scale with like the Maiasaura. So Kentro's African, yeah, I know, but it's on the right half of the planet at least, you know, the western half, maybe, depending on your opinion there, I guess. What other options do we have though? Like, there's not many other options, unfortunately. I think I'm going to stick with Chung. I think I like it. I specifically like it being an Asian Stegosaur, even if it's kind of a poor panda. I'll debate it over the next week. But, I don't know. I also, Chunkingosaurus is like my favorite Stegosaur in the game, so, I mean, I kind of want to use it. All right. Well, that's going to be it for today's episode. Definitely sound off in the comments of the YouTube upload if you have a strong feeling on which animal should be panda out of the different options. Or if you know if there's like a white and black like pattern on a different herbivore that really screams panda, even if it's not a stegosaurid, we could change the type of animal altogether. I'm not opposed to that. So we'll see.